Hello everyone, it's Jonathan. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. Uh, I'm just going to be doing something slightly different today and a first for my channel. Planning to do my first WIP and Chat, so that's my first work in progress. So I'm working on my work in progress, which is solar system, while I just chat about stuff that's going on with me at the moment. I'm not going to get too personal because me and my husband, we are quite private, with our own personal lives, but I am going to, you know, talk about me, more centre on me, and what's going on at the moment with my mental health journey and anything else I'm going to talk about. This is the first time I've done this. I don't know if I can sustain a full session chatting, so we'll just see how far I get. I've come prepared for this session, so I'm working on my Diamond Art Club canvas solar system, but to help me along the way, I've got my trusty Add More Zest trays. This is a mega green tray in their standard range, and this is one of the I think this might be the Admiral Zest tray. I can't remember exactly. There's a few names. I just get confused. But I will put the links in the description below. But this is their normal tray and their lovely little trash drill tray for any of the trash drills I come across. I am using my Art Dot storage tower, which I tend to decant my current whips into because they come with these lovely box drawers, and so they're just a lot easier to take in and out of the drawers than getting the big case out every single time. So I do prefer working out of these. Unfortunately, they don't carry enough in one drawer for a whole project. In fact, they only have, I can't remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16, 24, 28. Yeah, there's 40 something in there. Yeah, so basically they don't quite carry enough, so I always have to go over into the two drawers. Not very much into this drawer actually, but yeah, so they only really take one whip, so that is a disadvantage with them. I like how easy they are to get in and out, but yeah, to do a full project unfortunately is a bit of a annoyance, not having one fitting all into one drawer. But 80 drill pots is a lot of drill pots, so yeah. Got my trusty DAC tweezers, which came with one of my first DAC kits. I've not needed to change them yet. I put the little squishy over the end, which just limits how much they open back out. That just makes them easier to use for me. I'm using my DAX premium placer with a 6x DAC new slim metal multi-placer on one end and the Forever single placer on the other. I'll see how I am with the putty that's in there, but I will be swapping it out at some point, and I will probably go back to my trusty Cat's putty, and I'm using the marshmallow and fresh raspberry flavour at the moment. Okay. Right. Also, to help me on my way is some very nice bits. So I've got my cup of tea, which is, I like my speciality black teas. This is maple toffee tea, which is from a company called Golden Monkey Teas in the UK. They make these lovely black loose teas, and I just love them. They have like pistachio and marzipan flavour. They have Caribbean Dream, which is like a coconut and white chocolate flavour. And this maple toffee, which is one of my favourite, and it has bits of cinnamon sticks and popcorn and all sorts of lovely spices mixed in with the black tea, and the flavour really does carry through to the tea. Yeah, I love that so much. So that's my chill tea. And I've got some chocolate banana bread, which I made earlier in the week. So that is really nice as well. Right, so I'm going to get going now, and I'm just going to switch over to the overhead camera, and then I'll carry on and get chatting. Okay, so I was just working on this last section before I went away for a day or so of the Earth. There's a little bit more, I wouldn't really strictly call it confetti, but smaller blocks of colour, so a few more in a small area than the rest of the project. So that's kind of what slowed me up, because this hasn't been amazing, the colour blocking so far, because you've got all this black, all these little spots of blue, some navy blue, or navy black as I like to call it, more mid blues here. Yeah, so we've just got a few more colours throughout this bit. So I'm just going to get on with this little colour, sorry, this little block. I have a feeling I might need to change my putty, but I will just get some colours out and see first. Okay, so I don't have too many colour blocks in this next colour, so I'm just going to use my smaller tray and I'm just going to load up one of my colours. Okay. Let's give it a shake. Wonderful. Okay, and I put the tray this way because it's a lot easier for me to load up the pen. Let me just get a single and see how well it picks up. No, yeah, that needs reloading. Right, so I'm just going to tweeze out the old putty. That's it. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to switch out the putty. So I just get my tweezers together and just kind of ram that all the way along. Yeah, you just want to get all that putty out, because when you're putting fresh putty in, it's just easy if you start all fresh. That's just about right. Okay, get my putty out. And I just I'll load the single one first, and you just basically stab it right against the backing paper, against a hard surface, and then I just peel away the wax away and just twist that round and wound a few times until it comes away, and that's loaded. And the same goes for the multiplacer. Just get a nice long bit, and again just stab it downwards so you're picking up that putty, and then just give it a wiggle away from the rest of the putty until it comes away, and that's it loaded. See if it will focus for you. There we go. Okay. Sorry, that was a very, very speedy demonstration. I have done it before, but yeah, just so it's clear how I do it. Okay, I have the tray this way around, like I said, because it's just easier to load all these drills. I'm a very, very new multiplacer, so, oh, I just realised it's off camera. So have the tray like this, so going vertically, because it's much easier to load all these drills up. And so I'm just picking up, I think I need long loads. I'm just going to pick up the full 7, lightly press, and then just moving them back and forth in that tray, wiggling them a little bit, because that encourages them all to straighten up, and you can see, excuse me, don't you know where I'm going? That is all perfectly straight. Okay. Now, I'm not going to talk any more about technique, because this video is supposed to be about me, as in a bit of an update. So I'm just going to diamond paint as I talk. Okay. So, right. So I just had a very nice trip
away with my bestie Sarah just to see one of her, well, actually a few of her old friends, which was very nice, and I got to see a window into her life that I'd never really seen before, so that was interesting, um, and quite nice, and it was lovely to spend time with my bestie. That was just a nice time away from it all, really. Just get out of the house, get out of this area, and just chill, really. And yeah, so that was a nice time, and but I was glad to get back in a way. Although what was waiting for me when I got back is I have taken a bit of a step forward with my mental health, and or maybe a step back, I don't know. But basically, I decided that I wanted to get some counselling to help me, and so I spoke with a counsellor last week. Um, yeah, and she was very nice. I did not honestly know what to say. So I just started talking, and then I think there was a lot of verbal diarrhea. There was all sorts of things that are going on with me, with my job, with my personal life, with my own mental health, with me taking antidepressants, lots of stuff really. And then she did cut into the fact that I was suffering from anxiety and the stress at work and a lot of stuff going on me, and she did pick up on a lot of that. Um, and so we arranged to have a session this week, and I've just come back from that now, so I it's hard to really put into words sometimes how these things feel, but I'll try, because this is the first time I've ever had any kind of counselling. So I was very overwhelmed, very anxious going in. Didn't really know what to expect. It's was what we call person centered um, talking therapy. So it's kind of led by me. So I decide what I want to talk about, but that's kind of difficult for me because I don't know what to talk about sometimes. And she's so I was just like, so eventually I decided I was going to talk about my work and my job, and so we spent the best part of an hour talking about all the stresses in my job, and then I just realised really how shit it has been for me, and how difficult, and how much stress I've allowed to build up in myself, and how stressful my job really is. Um, and it's not different for any of the other nurses, really. We're all in the same boat, but it just made me reflect quite a lot on my responsibilities, and what I need to do going forward. It's just really that I think I need to be more clear with myself and my managers, and just talk to them about how I'm feeling, about how things are affecting me, if there's ways that they can put things into place to make things a bit easier for me to cope. I just need to do that really for my own peace of mind. So that's what happened there. To begin with, I was a little bit underwhelmed, I guess, because all the stuff we were talking about was stuff that I knew already. I kind of knew all the work stuff, how crap it's been. And but I guess having the counsellor say all the things kind of validated it in a way, and kind of validated the fact that it's not okay the way I've been feeling recently, and I can't be getting myself so overwhelmed, so I do need to take that step and do something about it. But yeah, it's been so difficult. And it's just the way I've been coping with it. Just freshen that up. But here at home, I've been doing my diamond painting, and this has obviously been helping immensely, calming me. But just trying to get the thought of getting back to work, I guess. You know, it's just hard, you know, and she did suggest that we have weekly sessions, you know, rather than fortnightly at the moment, because I do want to get back to work, and it might be, you know, better for me to try and get a lot of this stuff out, you know, on a weekly basis. I'm trying to think of, because I can choose what we talk about each time, so I'm trying to think of things in my head that are bothering me, that I can talk about, you know, just that will be most beneficial, I guess, you know. But yeah, it's difficult to know sometimes what things are triggering what, and there's a lot of things bothering me in this little head. But you know, it's hard sometimes to pinpoint which ones to focus on first. So, but I will continue to think about that and talk to my husband about that, and yeah, and just go from there really. So, just thinking, just put multi-placing more of these blues. That's not straight. Okay, so I'm just thinking what else to talk about. So, I've been trying to go for my daily walks. You know, that's been really good for me. I have a lovely field nearby, which I tend to go for walks on quite regularly. Although recently, this is like common land, this field, and usually this time of year there's cows in the field, which is a hazard in itself. You know, because you always feel a bit stressed out, you know, walking past the cows, and I think people have been. I think some people might have been killed by some of these cows. I'm not actually sure, but maybe not the same exact cows, but in that field. But I try not to let these things stress me. But obviously, it's a bit stressful walking past them sometimes. But I've managed it fine. But this year, cows weren't there, and they let the field grow. So a lot of the council and everyone in this area have been letting our grass grow longer to protect the bees. Which is a good initiative. I'm sometimes a bit sceptical because the council obviously saves a lot of money from this as well. But anyway, the field in this common land wasn't cut either, which is fine. But it's been so hot, and I just can't go for a walk in anything but my shorts, and I suffer from hay fever. So I think it extends to my legs sometimes, and I get an awful rash on my legs if the long grass touches them for too long. So I found that actually that stopped me going for that walk in that field for quite a while, and I had to go other routes. And we have a relatively new estate. It's just coming up to probably around about 20 years old. So there's nice walks around the estate as well. So I sometimes do that, although there's a few too many people get around the state for my liking, because I tend to like a bit more solitude and quiet when I'm doing my walks. But anyway, the other day, my husband said to me, "Oh, I'm going to do the field," and then I said, "Oh, okay, you know, enjoy yourself." I said, "I wish I could because of my shorts." So anyway, he did the field and I did the estate, and then he texted me to show me that they said they cut the grass. So yeah, so that was amazing. So I think some farmer must have gone in and harvested all the grass, the hay, and that was wonderful. So I was very happy about that. So I thought, I've got my field back. So I've been going for that walk quite frequently. I've done it about 2 or 3 times in a row already. You know, recently. So yeah, I love that. And when I'm writing my novel, I just get lots of really good ideas when I'm out on that walk. You know, things I never even thought of before. I don't know what it is about the open air, but it's just amazing for my mind. Yeah, so I'm so happy about that. So that has helped my mental health a lot. Sorry, this is a rogue drill got a nasty bit on the side. I'm just gonna realise. Ah, there it is. Trash drill pot. Okay. Okay, just got a few more of this one over here. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so, and the other thing that I do love my films, and so maybe I'll talk a little bit about that now, you know, because I'm not an aficionado or everything, but I have a very, I guess, eclectic taste for things I like, and I mean, a big Disney fan. Absolutely love all their animated films. I love Disney World, and yeah, I love a lot of their live action films. You have Disney Plus, you know. I've not watched a lot of the newer TV shows as much because I've in a bit of a phase to not watching TV too much. I find it a bit overwhelming, the thought of watching continuing series of things, but I don't mind movies because I can just watch the one movie. We often have movie night, which is Saturday night, which is really nice, and yeah, we just make it a nice evening, me and Alan, and it's wonderful. And the movie on last Saturday night was Red, White and Royal Blue, which was a film we'd been waiting for a while. I saw it pop up, I think it was. I follow a few LGBTQ plus groups on Facebook, and one of them, I think it mentioned that it was coming, and it's based on a novel. Forgive me, I can't remember the name who wrote it, but of the same name, and it's about a relationship that develops between two young men, one of whom is Prince Henry of England. So it's a very, very similar situation to what we have, and he's probably quite kind of the Prince Harry equivalent. He's the spare. He's not in line for the throne, and a relationship develops between him and the president's son, Alex. And the president is played by the wonderful Uma Thurman, in a very, very positive role. Yeah, I think the king, in a very, very small role, is played by Stephen Fry. It's quite an inclusive film, given that there's a woman playing the president in America, and there is a black female actress playing the prime minister. So it's very inclusive film, and we enjoyed it immensely. You know, it was wonderful portrayal for people for queer people. You know, we've in the past, obviously, a lot of our content has been segregated to things like Queer as Folk, which have been focused around queer people, and a lot of it is nightclubs and a lot of queer stereotypes. So it didn't always do as many favours with how the rest of the world depicted us, you know. So this was quite wonderful, really, and it's just the premise of like if one of the royal family were gay and the implications of that, and how that would affect everything, really, and would that relationship survive, and if it did, you know, what would happen, you know. And it's beautiful, sensitive film. Yeah, it's I think the book is steamier than the movie, but I think that's fine because this sort of film needs to appeal to quite a wide variety of people. So yeah, so we really enjoyed it. I'm not going to say anything more about it because it's I don't want to spoil anything, you know, but it was wonderful, you know, and I felt it had a very, very positive vibe, this film. And okay, although it didn't quite reflect reality, I thought it was a very nice film. Okay, so how long have we been? Just realised it's been 20 minutes already, so I guess I do know how to talk a little bit, although I think we've had some interruptions. My husband popped in, so I had to, I'm going to have to edit that bit out, you know, just he was going out for his walk. He does that every day now. Yeah, he's doing really well with his health and fitness, you know, made a really positive change. Yeah, and I'm really proud of him for that, for taking that step. So I'm just thinking what else to talk about. I really do struggle with this. I'm much more natural when I'm showing you something or demonstrating something or doing a new thing or, you know, just really just showing how much of the project I'm up to. I'm absolutely, yeah, pants at this. I'm so sorry. But I've just thought I'll try every once in a while just to keep you up to date with what's going on with me and everything, because I started this out, you know, I just think it's really important, you know, with mental health, just to keep people up to date, you know, with what's going on. I'll talk about. I have another channel, Jonathan's Crafts, where I talk which is for all my machine knitting, and I do want to get back into that soon. So I thought I am gonna try. I've got a nephew who's only 6 months old, and I've already made hand knitted him a cardigan, but I want to start making him stuff on the knitting machine as well. So I am going to start doing some videos to that and cover that, you know. So I'm hoping my other channel will appreciate that. I've got over, I think, 1.7 thousand followers on that, and I get more every week. And I only ever made about just trying to think, about 7 videos, and it's several years old, and this channel is only 28 days old, maybe 29 or 30, I can't remember. It was 28 days the other day old, and already I've got 30 subscribers, so yay! Thank you for everyone that subscribed to my videos. I'm really, really happy you're here. And I know it's tiny, tiny, tiny numbers, but it's an ever-increasing number, you know. So I think I got about 7 or 8 on the first day, and then it's just been a trickle, really, with each video. So I persevered. It was a bit demotivating right at the beginning because it's such a slow start with anything like this. But, yeah, I'm really, really pleased with how it's developing. You know, so thank you to everyone who, you know, who liked what I did, you know, because I feel like, oh, it's amazing. I've affected, like, this small amount of people want to see my content and want to see what I'm doing. So I'm very, very pleased about that. So maybe I'll just do a quick sneak preview of what I'm going to be doing over the next few videos. So as I said on one of my previous videos, I just ordered a new pen from Crafty Makes. I'm just waiting for that to arrive, but once it does, I will do a review video for that. I caved and bought a sticker machine. I know I shouldn't have done, and I think I said and some of the ladies from the DAC Fangs UK group will be laughing at me because I said, oh, I want a sticker machine even though I don't really know what to do with it, you know, and I don't know, you know, sometimes I cave with these silly little things, you know, but I thought that maybe I could label some of my bags, you know, for the extra drills more easily. I could label some of my craft cupboards and use it for some other things, so I will totally do a review video for that when that's arrived. I've got a couple of unboxings to do. So Springtime Splendor by Randall Spangler, I just got that, and that's still new in box. So I will do an unboxing for that. And I very, very luckily won a competition on the DAC Fans UK group, and that I won Cupcake Bakery. Yeah, so thrilled with that. You get to choose, you win a certain value, and you get to choose something on the DAC website, and Cupcake Bakery happened to be just back in stock at that point, and that was the nicest thing that I liked, you know, and I loved the colours, and I thought that would really go well in my craft room here with the colours, so I was really, really pleased about that. So I will unbox that as well over the next few days, but probably the most pressing video is going to be an unboxing and kitting up of Home is Where the Magic Is. I've already unboxed it and took the cover minder and the toolkit out, but like my solar system video, I haven't kitted it up yet, and I'm going to be working on that for the Famalong. That's the fantasy and magic or mystical, sorry, I always forget which one it is, along. So that's for the DAC Fans UK group. It's similar to Drills and Chills in America, but it's you just have to be part of the DAC Fans UK group, and it has to be on a DAC project, and it has to be a blank canvas on the 1st of September. If you want to get involved, feel free to join the DAC Fans UK group. Everyone is welcome. Kit for the Famalon has to be a Diamond Art Club kit. You don't have to finish the project during the time. The Famalon is going on from the 1st of September till the 31st of October. As long as you take part, you'll be entered into a grand draw at the end. So if you're into Diamond Art, you're in the UK. Sorry, that's another stipulation. You have to be in the UK as well. Please join our group. It's a lovely little community. It's growing ever so slowly, but it's nicely. Yeah, and the admins are wonderful, and yeah, it just has a wonderful community vibe at the moment. I'm really enjoying it. So if you love Diamond Art and you'd like to be part of a little community, I would highly recommend it. Okay, I'm just going to continue doing this. I'm much slower because obviously I've been talking to you, but I will be posting new content very, very soon. I'll probably be doing the next video tomorrow or the day after, so stay posted, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.